For the victims of the natural disasters and other emergencies of our country, these the Swiss government see to it that the humanitarian assistance must be provided in accordance with the principles of humanity, neutrality, and impartiality. Well, if we talk about the humanity, the human suffering should be addressed whatever it is found. The dignity and rights of all the victims must be respected. So, we can also say that the ICRC has been working in the Philippines for almost 50 years now. And it is a permanent, permanent presence since 1982. Throughout the decades, they are helping us in the internal armed conflicts in the country. The ICRC also has been visiting detainees and assisting people in need. Many of the displaced because of the conflict, of the armed conflict. In cooperation with the national authorities like our Philippine National Red Cross. The ICRC also reminds all parties to armed conflicts of their obligation under the international humanitarian law. In particular, the need to protect the civilians and also to act always neutral and impartial, intermediary, to facilitate the handover of people captured or the prisoners of war and detained in relation with the conflicts of their families. This organization has been working to integrate the international humanitarian law and also the human rights. Though they complement with each other, the human rights applies at all times. While the international humanitarian law or the law of armed conflict applies during armed conflict or during war. So they have so many assistance and humanitarian law programs.
A focus of Swiss foreign policy is the effort to achieve more peace in the world. As a neutral small state, Switzerland can take over various tasks, which it is able to fulfill better than other participants due to its neutral status.
So we also are a recipient of official development assistance from Switzerland, although I would say that the Philippines is not among the priority countries identified to receive Swiss official development assistance on a regular basis, but still the Philippines benefit from Swiss development funds through various means like co-financing of programs in the Philippines of Swiss non-governmental organizations, and there are also contributions to small action projects which is up to about 100,000 Swiss francs per year, and this is mostly managed by the Swiss Embassy in Manila. We also have we also receive multilateral contributions from the Swiss government through the ADB and the UN agencies, as well as other specific regional activities, for instance through the Irrigated Rice Research Consortium, IRRC, which has provided a structure and mechanism for partnership between National Agricultural Research and Extension Systems and IRRI, International Rice Research Institute. So as far as humanitarian cooperation is concerned, we have entered into an agreement with Switzerland, as I cited earlier. I think I mentioned it, yung agreement to extend assistance, for instance, in instances or in the event of a disaster. So, and Switzerland has given us aid in the event of disaster. And this is part of our integral, or it is part of the important policy of Switzerland also, as far as abiding by international solidarity. So this is just an example I could cite. And in relation to this, in 2004 we have received assistance from the Swiss government, no, for the series of typhoons that has brought havoc, particularly in northern Luzon. No? And in 2006, the Swiss government also has extended support to the families who were victims of the landslide in Leyte. And just last year, if you recall, in 2009, when we had these typhoons, Ondoy and Pepeng, Katsana and Parma, as they are called by international names. So we also receive donations or assistance from the Swiss government totaling to about 25 million pesos or 550,000 Swiss francs. No? So,
go for the moon. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go.
Switzerland maintains diplomatic relations with almost all countries and historically has served as a neutral intermediary and a host to major international treaty conferences. The country, however, has no major disputes in its bilateral relations.
Say that as of now, we have a good relationship with Switzerland. No? So it has been a long relationship that was established way back in 1956. No? To be exact, our diplomatic relationship with Switzerland was established in August 1956. No? But our relationship with Switzerland could be traced back as far as early 1800s, no? When Swiss traders, missionaries, and travelers who ventured into Southeast Asia came also to the Philippines. No? So I would say that given the fact that we have celebrated our golden anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relationship between our two countries, no? I guess we have gone a long way to strengthen our relationship, and we have entered into several agreements also with Switzerland over the years. No? So I could probably mention some of these, like we have entered into bilateral agreements with Switzerland on, say, extradition, mutual protection of investments, avoidance of double taxation. We also have agreements of cooperation in the event of natural disasters and readmissions of persons with unauthorized stays. So we have quite a list of agreements that we have entered into Switzerland already. And as far as